which Palin, Elizabeth had a half sibling, Mary Tudor, Henry Tudor, Duke of Cornwall, who was the king's first child with his ex-wife Catherine of Aragon, younger brother Edward, who was the king's first illegitimate son, with his third wife Jane Seymour of Henry Fitzroy, first Duke of Richmond and Somerset, the son of King Henry VIII of England, and his mistress Elizabeth Float. Queen Elizabeth never married and had no kids. It was said that she, she was married to the kingdom. From this she got her name, the Raging Queen. During Elizabeth's final years of her health rapidly deteriorating, died March 24, 1603, Surrey, England.
Can you bring a little bit closer so we can see the pictures? Wow, that's her whole lineage. Very good. Yep.
Angela Davis was born on January 26, 1944. She passed away June 25th, 2020 in a car accident on a Thursday night. She was known for being with the Black Panther Party, and she married a photographer. Hilton, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. And she was put in jail for 18 months for being a subject of the National Manhunt.
Mm-hmm. That's it?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
Shabazz was born Betty Dean Sanders on May 28, 1934, to the teenage Ollie Mae Sanders and Showman Sandy. While Betty spent most of her childhood in Detroit, she may have been born in Pennhurst, Georgia, at the age of 11. Betty began living with businessman Lorenzo Maley and his wife Helen Maley was a local activist who organized boycotts of stores discriminated against African Americans. After high school, Betty studied at Tuskegee Institution in Alabama. The extreme racism she encountered in the Jim Crow South shocked and frustrated her. In 1953, she left Alabama to study at the Brooklyn State College School of Nursing in New York. While less over the racism that she absorbed in New York deeply affected Betty. During her second year of nursing school, Betty was invited by an older nurse assigned to a dinner party at the National of Islam Temple in Harlem. She enjoyed the evening but declined to join the organization at the time. During her next visit to the temple, Sanderson met Malcolm X, who was her friend and mistress. Betty began to attend Malcolm X services. She converted in 1956, changing her surname to X to represent the loss of her African ancestors. Betty and Malcolm X were married on January 14, 1958 in Michigan. The couple eventually had 6 daughters. In 1964, Malcolm X announced that his family was living in the National of Iceland. He and Betty X, now known as Betty Shabazz, became Sunni Muslim. On February 21, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated while giving a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. Shabazz was in the audience near the stage with her daughters. Angry outlookers caught and beat one of the assassins, who was arrested on scene. Eyewitness identified two more suspects, all three men, who were members of the National of Iceland. While Q attended a rehabilitation program, she sent her 10-year-old son Malcolm to stay with her mother in New York. On June 1st, 1997, Malcolm set a fire in Shabazz's apartment. Shabazz suffered several burns and died on June 23, 1997. Malcolm Shabazz was sent to a juvenile detention for manslaughter and arson. Shabazz is buried beside her husband. Shabazz is buried beside her husband at Fern Cliff Cemetery in Hartsdale, New York.